Hey, I'm Jonah Feingold. I'm a filmmaker in Greenpoint, Brooklyn. Welcome to Romantical Studios. Here we are. Today I want to talk to you guys about how to market and release your independent film in 2026 and how I would do it. I just had a film made called 31 Candles that we made 2 years ago during the SAG strike. We premiered at a couple festivals and then we released it to limited theaters in New York, Delray, Florida, and California. And after multiple sold out showings with Q&As and events around the movie, we got expanded into AMCs across the country. And while I think by the time this video really comes out, we won't be in AMCs, at least across the country, we did have a really fun week where we did multiple Q&As in New York. We had showings in Texas and Chicago and Florida and just other places. And it was a really amazing experience. And if I were to go back and make an independent film in 2026, I want to talk about how I would approach marketing and self-release. Now, this is assuming that you are not in a major film festival. Well, even if you go to Sundance these days, I think it's probably not what it used to be, but this is assuming that you are not trying to make a play at a major film festival and that you haven't been acquired by a major distributor, a la A24 Neon, or one of these massive vehicles that have really powerful marketing, because it's tough. And this also assumes that you're not already a personality of some sort on the internet. You're not a famous podcaster, or something like that. I have a movie and I've lived some of this stuff. So I'm hoping to share that with you. And I don't see many people on the internet talking about it. So let's talk about what it used to be. It used to be you made an independent movie, you went to a film festival, you waited for a distributor to maybe reach out and say, hey, I want to give you a minimum guarantee, or I want to distribute this for you. And then maybe it goes to a couple theaters, then it goes on VOD and you've never heard of the movie anymore. And it doesn't have the legs. The beautiful things about movies, at least in my perspective, are their longevity. Movies are forever. That's something I like to believe. I think movies can change the world, or at least I hope, I have to believe that. That's what I've committed my life to. And I really do think that a really great film can change the world, or it can at least make someone's day, right? Whether or not you like a movie that you watched, it's somebody's favorite movie. Probably, likely is, and that's amazing. So how do you do it today? The same day that you have the idea for the movie you're gonna go make, your marketing campaign begins. You are starting the Instagram, you are starting the TikTok, you are starting the email newsletter. And it's sort of like a little bit of everything. We used to live in this monoculture where you could put this marketing spend towards trailers and ads, and no one looks at that. Now it's a little bit of energy and effort into a lot of different things, and you're probably going to want help. You're probably going to want a team. And I wish I had a tool or product I could sell you that would do this. I don't. But maybe you have friends who will help you with this. You're going to start marketing today, and you're going to start sharing your process. In lieu of trying to figure out what to post, simply document. Document your process, your internal thoughts. Document yourself waking up at 2 a.m. to write those 5 pages. Document when you pitch your mom the idea. Document when you first, finish the script and when you start location scouting. I would also go so far as to say that you should have an ancillary piece of material or a show or a concept that is working in tandem with the movie itself. You're basically building an ecosystem. Think of Disney. Disney has their movies, but they also have their merch and the parks, and they have TV and they have events. That's how they stay alive. Their movies don't make them all their money. The parks make, I believe, more money for them than the movies. So that's kind of how I see all my stuff. When I'm doing my filmettes on my channel, which you can go watch, there's live events around those. Eventually, there's going to be merch around those. There's smaller little Instagram reels that go on Instagram and TikTok. And some of those things get millions of views and they drive traffic towards that. So that comes to your marketing when you're done with the movie. But I'll use an example. For 31 Candles, the movie that just came out in AMC theaters, had I gone back and redone it, I would have, the day I started writing that script, I would have produced a podcast where I interview people who had bar mitzvahs later in life. You're basically trying to build your audience, build your community. Even if you build 1,000 people, that's 1,000 people who are ready to watch your film when it's done. And that's going to be huge. Starting there, the day you have your idea, you are thinking about your marketing and you're building your audience. It could be 5 people, it could be 100 people. It's something like Substack. You want to have as direct to consumer as possible. So email lists are helpful. Anything that involves email. Maybe once a week you're in the inbox and you're highlighting certain people who have done the thing that your movie's about. Maybe you have an unscripted show where you have a little microphone, you're interviewing people. And again, this shouldn't just be your job. Your job is to be going to make the film. You should produce this, or you should work with your producer or your PAs to build this. Again, I realized how much work this is, and maybe the big thesis here is that if you're going to independently release your movie, it's going to be so much work. But it's work that you can actually do without anything in the way. And it doesn't really cost money, it just costs time, which is different than it used to be. It used to be that you had to do a lot of work, but that work required money. And now it's like, it's just a lot of work, but you have to do it. Okay, so I just want to review my notes here because I thought a lot about this. So we're going to be building the ecosystem by which you're going to release the film. Then once the movie's done, you've built your little sideshow on Instagram, or you have your podcast or your email list, you're going to eventize your film. Look at your movie. Who is its core audience? Where are they? Go find them. Is your movie about a bunch of surfers? I would ask ChatGPT or Gemini, find me the list of local movie theaters that are in coastal cities where people surf, I think. I assume they surf there. And I would then call and or show up to all those theaters and say, I made a movie about surfing. I would love to premiere it here. This is an example of what you can do. But you're going to target this period of time, this window, maybe it's a month or 2 months, where you and anyone else in your movie, you're going to tour the movie there, and you're going to tell all those people that you brought on in your email list, and you're going to post about it, you're going to tell every single person you know, and then you're going to rely on those theaters to have their habitual moviegoers who are going to come to the theater no matter what's playing. They're going to see your movie, and you're going to do something cool. And you're also going to do events, right? You're going to show up to those surf towns. You're going to show up to the beach. I don't know why this surfing thing's even on top of my head, but you're going to show up to the beach. You're going to basically say, come see my film. So you're going to eventize the release of the movie. And you're going to have merch. This is a big part of it. People think that, you got to sell your movie or do box office. The way that independent films will make money, I believe, in the future is through the total sum of things. It's the merch, the cool surf wax you're going to make, or the sweatshirt. It's through the live screenings. It's through the ancillary live events. It's through potential brand opportunity around the other things you've made around the movie. It's from licensing, and it's from when you sell the movie online. It's from everything. It's not from one thing. Again, multiple verticals, just like Disney. And of course, amongst all that, you're going to be documenting the process the entire time. After you do this independent theaters, you're going to then look at Regal and AMC and say, hey, look at this amazing business we did. We built urgency in FOMO. We got people to come because we had these Q&As and we had sold out screenings. I would love to premiere now in multiple states. And if you do decent business, AMC and Regal will take note of that, and they will help put you into more theaters. And that's your theatrical run, which is important, right? Because seeing a movie on a big screen is kind of why we got into this game in the first place. And then you have other options. You have these aggregate sites that I don't know much about, but if I were to do it all over again, I would just build a website, charge people $5 to $10 to download and or stream your movie, and that's your business plan. And maybe I'm oversimplifying it in this video, but again, as someone who just went through the process, theaters are struggling, independent theater owners are struggling, it's expensive, it's hard, it takes a lot of time and effort, and the thing you can do to help them is to bring people. And that's why I suggest building that community early on, that the day you have the idea is the day you start marketing your film. And after that's done, after you're in those theaters, people will talk about it, especially if the movie's good. People will talk about it, and they'll find you online. They'll find a way to get the movie there. So anyway, that's how I would release my independent movie today in 2026, having had 4 movies out there, 5 in 2020, 5 coming out this year. Tired. Okay, anyway, let me know if you have any questions. I appreciate the feedback on my other videos that I've done on this channel so far. If you're new here, filmmaker, go check out my work on YouTube or in theaters right now. Let me know down below if you have any questions or things I should cover, and thanks for watching. Bye.